Okay, YouTube says we are live. Hello, hello, hello out there in the interverse. Great to be here with you. My name is Karen, coming to you from Salt and Sand Studios in Vermont. It is a little bit of a crisp morning. Happy to be here. Just a couple items. One is next week there will be no live class, so that's on the 20th. Feel free to use the well over 100 recordings to have your practice. And if you are in Vermont today, it is one of the days of the Plein Air Festival, which means there are folks painting all over our Mad River Valley, especially in Waitsfield and also on our premises in Warren, Vermont. And we'll be doing demos and tours between 10 and 2. Obviously, I won't be doing a tour at 10 because I'll be with you. Anyway, great to have you here. Today we are focusing on the fact that the body is listening. And that's why for the second week I actually have my sneakers on. That's not why, but a couple of weeks ago I injured my foot, and I decided instead of being angry about that and angry with my foot for not working the way I wanted it to be, that I was going to be kind to it. But even in the non-purposeful way, when we internalize negative tone, negative voice, negative emotions toward the body absorbs that and reflects it. And a really wonderful physical therapist and yoga therapist, one of the best I have known, Alicia, if you are out there, hi, has always said, what is it that you are saying to yourself? How are you helping the body heal with your words and your emotions and your tone? So that's what we're practicing today, regardless of whether you have injury or pain or soreness or not. We are going to work a bit of mantra to support our body and its movement. But we're going to start with breath. So long, straight spine, chin nice and tucked, top of the back of the head, pushing a little backwards. Hands can be in your lap or on your thighs or knees. If you can, the palms face up. We take a big breath in and a complete breath out. Inhale, shrug your shoulders up. Exhale, release the breath in the shoulders. Audible sigh this time. Breathe in, shrug shoulders. Audibly let it go. Drop your chin toward your chest. Give it a little pendulum motion up toward the left, down toward the center. Inhale up toward the right. Exhale down toward center. Focusing on the breath with movement. Maybe here we notice a little crackle. Maybe there's a little pinch in the neck, and maybe we are kind to it, welcoming it, breathing into it, as opposed to closing ourselves off, having a negative energy. Next time the chin drops to the chest, lift it again. And check back in with your spine. Draw the belly in. Press the tailbone down. Let's go ahead and take a box breath. If you have hypertension, you might keep it the count shorter for the whole period. We're going to breathe in to the count of 3, 2, 1, and hold the breath for 3, 2, 1. Breathe out for 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Sustain for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Retain 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Retain. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big inhale. And a complete exhale. Inhale. Let it go. And another time. Drop your left ear toward your left shoulder. Place the left hand above the right ear. No pushing, no pulling, just gravity and the weight of the hand, drawing the right side of the neck nice and long. And if I got any of the rights and lefts incorrect, sorry about that. The arm where your head is tilting toward is the one that's lifted with the hand above the neck, outer ear. Lifts the head, right ear, right shoulder. Right arm lifts up. Place it outside your left ear. And let the neck stretch. Release the hand, lift the head. Turn the head toward the right. Breathe in. Long spine. Breathe out. Twist a little deeper. Let the eyeballs move over toward the right, like you could look at your ear, even if the eyes are closed. Breathe in. Twist a little deeper. Exhale. Inhale, draw through center. And exhale, turn your head to the other side. Another breath in. Allowing you to turn the head deeper on the exhale. 2 rounds of breath. Gaze moving over to the left. Inhale through center. Drop the hands by the sides. Shrug the shoulders up. Press them behind you, release them, breath out. Shoulders shrug up, breathe in. Reach them behind, let them go, breathe out. And one more time. Palms face up. Inhale, arms lift in front. Stay there for the breath out. Lock the arms back into the shoulders. Inhale, arms lift up. Exhale, let the arms settle down. Inhale, palms out. Exhale, arms out. Inhale, palms up. Exhale, fingertips to shoulders. Elbow circles. Take one direction. You can start small. And after 3 rotations, make that larger. It's almost like the baby bear, mama bear, papa bear kind of approach. And then super large so that it feels a little awkward, like you're a child pretending you're a fly. Maybe that's not that awkward. Then we take it the opposite direction. Tiny to start. Medium. And supersize it. Cactus shape arms. Palms face forward. Fingers get nice and wide. Shoulder blades squeeze together. Lift the arms overhead. Maybe the chin lifts. Breathe in. Press the palms there. Bend your elbows. Fingers come to the nape of the neck or between your shoulder blades. Press the head back into the forearms. Interlace your fingers. Press the palms to the back of the head or the neck. Open up the elbows. Scoop that belly in. A tilt over toward the left. Opening the elbows as much as you possibly can. Feeling it in the shoulders. Maybe the gaze lifts a little bit. Lift back up toward the sky, and exhale, tilt the opposite direction. Inhale, rise up, palms lift away from you, facing one another. Exhale, hands to your heart. I'm going to take a very simple mantra. It is your choice if you would like to change it once we start practice, but our mantra will be, I am kind to my body. My body is kind to me. So breathing in, I am kind to my body. Breathing out, my body is kind to me. I'm kind to my body. My body is kind to me. I am kind to my body. My body is kind to me. I am kind to my body. My body is kind to me. And take that mantra for a few more breaths. I will let you know when to stop. And you can release from the mantra. Take a big breath in and a full breath out. Natural breath. And consider how you'd like to move forward in the practice. Maybe it is a dedication to that mantra. Maybe you bring your intentions into play. Or perhaps you consider what brought you to your mat. Any of those things, or a word, a behavior, maybe a smile, maybe that's where you set your intention for the practice. We'll take a moment to surround ourselves with those good intentions, as if we're creating a foundation for the practice using our breath and or the chant of Om. As always, your choice to chant or not. We're going to breathe all the air out of the lungs first. Generously breathe in. Bring the hands in front of your front shin, fingertips to the earth. Draw the belly in, breathe in. Press the belly, breathe out, walk the hands forward, get a nice long spine, nose points toward the ground. Go as far as you can. I promise you it is not the final frontier. Breathe in, open the belly and the lungs. Breathe out, squeeze the belly in, walk the hands forward a little bit more till then you can't go any farther and drop your head. Find a few breaths. On a breath out, rise back to your seat. Bring the hands behind you, fingers point toward your bottom. So even if you're on a cushion or a block, we're going to still tuck the belly in and press the tailbone forward. We're going to lift from the top of the pelvis all the way to the sternum, pressing the fingers into the earth for a little purchase. Let the shoulder blades fall in love with each other. Lift that heart and maybe the head drops back. A little bit of a heart and a shoulder opening. Feel the stretch. Feel, even if you're not in the sun, feel sun-like rays entering into the chest cavity, warming up the heart. Tuck the belly in, tuck the tailbone. Lift the shoulders over the hips, but then lean back on the sacrum to switch the cross of your feet. You've done this before. Hand sweep around in front. Breath in. Crawl forward, breath out. We're getting a nice long spine, opening things up, starting the lubrication. Breathe in. Squeeze the belly on the exhale. Reach farther forward. Drop your head, drop your chin. Oh, yeah. Feel the breath moving up and down the spine. I am kind to my body. My body is kind to me. You're going to rise up onto your seat. We're going to face the long edge of the mat. I'm going to remove my prop from underneath me. I did promise this would be gentle today. We will do some standing postures. We're going to start with the legs nice and wide. Reaching the heels away from us and the toes toward us. Trying to work the adductors and the abductors in the thighs to keep the toes upright as opposed to flopping out or flopping in. So if you go too wide or too narrow and we're not paying attention to the body, we might end up injuring the body, doing yoga unsafely, which is not what we want. So maybe a little smile to the face as we sit up nice and tall. Maybe the palms come stacked at the lap. Maybe they're on your kneecaps. Maybe they're dropped beside you. Whatever feels right. We're going to stay here just for a couple of breaths, drawing the tailbone forward, the belly in and up, and super long, like we're zipping up a wetsuit. Nice and tall. You're going to bend now the left knee, so the left foot comes inside the right thigh, but we're keeping the right leg nice and wide. Now take a look over the left knee. Maybe hold on to the shin with the right hand. Float the left arm high. Take a tilt over to the right. If you like, then the forearm of the right arm can come inside the right leg. And I just noticed that my foot wants to lean out to the right, so I have to work hard to maintain the toes pointing up and toward my torso. We're going to lift up both arms high. Place the left hand outside the left hip. We're going to shift onto the left knee and make a little rock star posture. Press the pelvis forward and then bring the seat back down. Face the right leg and take a fold over that leg. You might not go very far. Totally okay. I am kind to my body. My body is kind to me. On a breath out, rise up. Bring the soles of your feet together. Badakumasana. If you need a larger diamond inside, feel free. We're going to sit upright for this one. Starting to feel the inner thighs open up. Press the balls of the feet together. Press the heels together. And rather than a super arch in the back, you're going to press the tailbone forward. This might even open up the space underneath your shoulder blades, which can feel really yummy. And then we're going to go ahead and stretch the left leg outward. If you need to shift the right foot inward a little bit, feel free. Face your right knee. Sit up tall, right arm high, and tilt. I hope I have enough room to do my rock star pose. Left forearm could come inside the left leg, and then if you're like me, you're lazed out, which is okay, but now activate the leg on the left side so the toes point up and in. Arms lift up, torso lifts up, right hand outside your right glutes. We shift onto the right shin, the right knee, point the left toes downward, lift the pelvis, open up, rock, start it. Woohoo! Went to love it this week. I wouldn't call it necessarily rock. Drop the right hip bone down, face your left leg, and shift into a fold over your left leg. It was a great show. It rained. It had a rainbow. A beautiful sunset. Really nice crowd. Shelburne Museum. Rise back up. We're going to stretch both legs out. Maybe even notice which leg or which foot likes to drop away or in. Sitting up tall. And we will take a fold to the center. You don't have to go very deep. Big breath in. Full breath out. Drop your head. Rise up, breath out. Bring your hands behind you. With lightness in your heels, send the legs together. We're going to sit up in our staff pose. Hands by your sides, fingertips on the earth. Pressing the heels and the calves and the sitting bones into the ground. And checking that the shoulders are not hiked up around your ears. If this is staff pose, maybe where the staff and the sheep are the shoulders. We're going to move the sheep away from the ears. Staff pose because the legs are straight, the torso is straight, really sturdy, steady, and strong. Float the arms in front. Lock them back to your shoulders. Maybe a little softness in your knees if you're tight in the hammies like me. Breathe in. Exhale, shift forward from the hips. So the hands are reaching forward, not down. Breathe in. Shift forward from the hips. Oh yeah, hamstrings are tight. Breathe in. Shift forward. Stay here. 3, 2, 1. Rise back up. Soles of the feet back together once more. Your choice in Badakumasana. If you would like to fold over your feet or find a back bend with your hands behind you or sit upright, you could even take a bind with the arms. I'm finding the opening of the hips is feeling really good for me. I am kind to my body. My body is kind to me. Rise back up on a breath out. Let's take a couple of breaths in child's pose before we start additional movements of the spine. Knees nice and wide, unless it feels better to bring the knees close together. You might find if you have lower back issues, that is a better posture for you because it prevents any droppage in the lumbar spine. Rise into a tabletop. I recently had the honor of practicing with another yoga teacher, and she offered up instead of cat-cow. I say offered up, I was teaching. She was practicing, but it was a practice for me as well. She offered up a sort of hula hoop movement in the hips, and I realized that my body has lost a bit of that memory. So I've started doing it myself. So maybe you try it out, making a hula hoop shape in one direction, or the movement of the hips as if you're using a hula hoop. I am kind to my body. My body is kind to me. And finding that maybe it feels a little awkward, but we are acknowledging and recognizing that the body is doing the best it can. Take it to the other direction, which you might find a little less natural. I am kind to my body. My body is kind to me. And then if you like to move into cat-cows, rolling cat-cows, the letter C shape, we're finding all of the movement of the spine, left and right, forward, rounded and arched. And once we finish this, we will move into a twist. So all directions of the spine. And take your time. Fingers are nice and wide. Tops of the feet are pressed into the earth. I know some of us are trained to tuck our toes under, which can also work to help open up the soles of the feet. Doesn't give you quite as much purchase if you're pressing the top of the feet into, as if you are pressing the top of the feet into the earth. And we pause in tabletop to move into a tabletop twist. We'll float the right arm high out to the right. Thread the needle behind the left arm, left wrist. Maybe scooch the left hand forward so we can come to the left forearm and onto the tricep or the shoulder of the right side. For some of us, it might feel good to shift the left arm forward even more, or to take a half bind or a full bind. It's a little early in the practice to lift the left leg, but if that feels right for you, you can lengthen that leg out, maybe coming to the ball of the foot first before you float it up. But be careful where the hips are going. Keep the belly strong. Finding our twist. 3, 2, 1. Left knee comes down if it's up. Left hand under your left shoulder. We unravel from this little pretzel twist and bring the hand back to the earth. Maybe move through cats and cows again, hula hoop shapes, Mobius strip shapes. And we'll take all that to the other side, squaring everything up. Left arm floats, needle threads, right hand forward if need be, drawing onto the tricep or the shoulder. Right leg long behind if you like, the ball of the foot on the earth. You can always lift the leg if that feels right for you. 3. I'm kind to my body. My body is kind to me. Right knee down if it's lifted. Right hand under your right shoulder. Left arm opens up once again and returns to the mat. I'm going to shift onto our heels here and bring the tops of the hands to the mat with the fingers pointing toward the knees. Maybe they shift a little forward. And you can find perhaps a rock forward and backward, opening up the outer wrists. You might feel a little bit of the thumbs. If you're more stretchy and it works for you, you could make fists, leaving the thumbs out, but you're really working to be on the back of the hand as opposed to the knuckles. Shift sitting bones back toward the heels. Place the palms on the mat. Point the fingers either left and right or more toward your knees, whichever works for you. And again, we find a rocking motion, but working into the thumb pads. Is that what you call them? The thumb pads, the thumb mounds at the base of the thumb. A little rocky, rocky, rocky. We pause for stillness. Hands point forward, and one more round of either cat-cow or rolling cat-cow or hula hoop shape. Noting if something symmetrical is what the body's asking for. You're cool if it's asymmetrical. You're going to work both directions or both sides. I'm going to take my outer layer off now that I am warmed up. We are going to find our way to a downward facing dog. So from tabletop, hands move forward a few inches. Smile comes to your face. Mantra comes to your mind. And slowly on a breath out, you're going to press your sitting bones high, lifting the hips toward the sky. and using the belly to take some of the energy out of the wrists. Maybe a little pedaling, and sometimes that pedaling brings crackles and cracks and pops with it. That's all totally natural, especially if you're in an area that rained last night or it's cooler today than it was yesterday. It's just air. Rise up to the tiptoes. Press the chest toward the thighs. Stay here with the heels up. Press into your thighs. See if you can lift your hips even more. Bend your knees and look past your hands. Walk to the hands for a forward fold at the front of your mat. Mat and sneakers are always kind of interesting. Feet parallel to the outer edges of the mat. Ragdoll. Knees can be super bent or minorly bent or not bent at all, but if your belly is not in contact with your thighs, bend your knees. Let the head get heavier. Imagine that the neck is more like a spring. Drop your hands toward the earth. They might not touch. Guide them to your shins. Press away from the shins for a half lift, long spine. So we're not looking for a big arch. We're not looking for a big round. Flat spine with a super strong belly. The shoulders, your sheep, moving toward your hips. Exhale, forward fold. Unravel to standing like you're rooting into the ground with your feet. A little pause in mountain pose with the hands by the sides. Arms float out and up. We open up the heart, breathing in. Palms pressed together overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart, Samasthihi. Drop your hands by your sides. Inhale, sweep them out and up. Exhale, hands to heart, forward fold. Uttanasana. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Inhale, float to standing. Root to rise. Sun rises. And the sun sets, forward fold. Just moving the whole body here. If you're gripping the ground, see if you can loosen your toes. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Root to rise, rising all the way to standing. Exhale, hands to your heart. Drop your hands by your sides. A little twisty, flopping your arms left and right. And maybe you can even cause the hands to slap lightly the body, getting a bit of lymph working by slapping right in front of the shoulders and then outside the chest near the ribs. And then maybe a little bit more of the helicopter motion. This is real stuff. I'm not making this up. I mean, I am sort of making it up, but it comes from Tai Chi practice. And we settle in at the front, mountain pose. Soften the knees, feel a little spring in them. Rise up to the balls of the feet, feel the spring in the ankles and the knees. Draw the heels down, sit into a chair pose, Katasana. Arms can come out in front, hands clasped or not, arms overhead if that feels okay, or maybe arms in a cactus shape. I like cactus because I feel like I'm starting to activate a little more the center spine, the upper spine, the shoulder blades, and the heart. Bring your hands to your hips, rise up. Step the left foot as far back as you can on your mat. Spin to the long edge of your mat, toes in, heels out. Hard to do in sneakers. Bend into your knees, tuck your tailbone, fold over your legs, halfway down to start, long spine. And then all the way down, maybe straightening your legs or taking a wide-legged forward fold. Nod your head and shake your head, walk your hands forward, maybe till the heels come away from the ground and you can place the palms on the earth. And then see if you can walk backward until the heels draw downward once again. Pivot on the balls of the feet so the heels come in and the toes are out. In place, we're going to come to a little crouch like a footballer stance. Forearms on the thighs, and you can interlace your fingers. We're going to find some cat-cows from this posture. Really working things, drawing the sitting bone down as you arch the back, and lifting the sitting bones up a little bit as you round the back. I am kind to my body. My body is kind to me. Hands now come to the thighs. We take the left shoulder and bring it toward the right knee. Take a peek over the right shoulder. Coming through, rising up a little bit through center. We're going to dip the right shoulder toward the left knee. Look over the left shoulder. Again, we rise up a little bit, coming through center. Dip the left shoulder toward the right knee. Look to the right. Inhale through center, dip the right shoulder to the left. Come to center, knees bent. Rise up to standing, knees unbent, hands by your sides, and then lift them up in a V. That's a little bit of a 5-pointed superstar pose. We'll take a power gesture, keep the thumbs out and make fists of the fingers. Rise up to the tippy toes. Bend into your knees like a goddess posture. Bring your heels down. Rise back up, 5-pointed star with your power hand gesture, your mudra. Palms pressed together overhead. Interlace your fingers. Press the palms toward the sky. A tilt over toward the right. Tailbone tucked. Inhale, rise up, palms to the sky. Keep the palms to the sky, tilt over to the left. Inhale, rise up. Cactus shape arms. We're going to move into goddess. The knees bend out. Elbows away and back, fingers nice and wide. Shoulder blades squeeze together. Tailbone tucked. I am kind to my body. My body is kind to me. See if you can sink a little farther down. Keep the glutes active. Hands to your hips, rise up. I'm going to face the front of the mat. If you can pivot, do that. A little hard for me to do in sneakers. And come into our crescent shape lower body. Hands can remain on your hips. Come into your runner's lunge. I needed to adjust my situation front to back so I can really press that left heel away. We're going to find a twist, left hand down, right arm high. Staying in the twist, we're going to drop the back knee. That might allow us to find the twist a little differently. Place the right hand at your low back. Rise up in this twist, taking the left hand to the right thigh. Shoulders stack over the hips. Your back foot is untucked, so you're pressing the shoelace side of the foot into the earth. Working to open up the hip flexor on the left side, or the psoas, or as I like to say, because of the way it's spelled, the psoas. It has kind of a funny sound. We're going to shift front and center, hands stacked on the knee. And then bring the hands to frame the front foot once again. Back toes tuck under, lift your hips and straighten both legs. Your back foot doesn't have to come all the way down to the earth. Shorten your stance for Parsvottanasana. Step the back foot up to meet the front. Inhale, rise to standing. A chair pose with cactus-shaped arms. Feet can draw together if that feels better, or remain apart. Hands to your hips or right foot steps way to the back of the mat. Finding our crescent warrior lower half. Getting that stance as wide as possible, keeping the belly in and the tailbone down. We find our runner's lunge. Opposite way we usually go. I need to adjust, so adjust if you need to for your twist. Right hand down, left arm high. Back knee drops, stay in your twist. Heel of the left hand to your low back. Rise up, placing the right hand on your left knee. Pressing into the shoelace side of the back foot. Maybe wiggling the left foot out to the left for balance. And we shift deeper into the front hip crease. I just noticed I was way tilted to the right. Now I'm more upright. Breathe. Both hands stacked on your left thigh. And hands frame your front foot. Tuck your back toes under. Extend your front leg. Both legs as straight as possible. Back foot steps up to meet the front. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, I'm kind to my body, rise up to standing. Exhale, my body is kind to me, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. The left foot glides way to the back of the mat once again. This time, get really, really far with that left foot. Drop your back knee. And then as you scoot your right foot over toward your left hand, you're going to bring the right knee down behind the right wrist. We're going to move into pigeon. So if there's another way that works better for you, it's hard in sneakers, to get into pigeon, feel free. We're going to find a little back bend to start. And if you need a prop under your right hip, take it. I'm going to take one. Breathe in for your back bend. Breathe out for your fold. Your right shin as parallel to the front of the mat as you can get it, which you might not get very far there. Drawing to the forearms. Being safe with the right knee. I am kind to my body. My body is kind to me. We're going to shift to the other side by pressing the hands into the earth and rising up, removing any prop you might have. I'm going to shift over onto the right sitting bone and shift the left leg around in front. Let the left shin come as parallel to the front of the mat as you can. Lean over onto the left hip and swing the right leg behind you. Again, finding as much length as you can with that right leg, allowing the back bend to take place. A little smile to the face, and then a fold over the left shin. I am kind to my body. My body is kind to me. This time we shift over onto the left hip as the hands walk backward. Right leg swings around. And any way we like, we can meet all the way on the mat with the back long on the mat. We're going to take a little bit of a back bend, some twists, and then Shavasana. So set yourself up. We'll do a Pilates style bridge, bringing the feet forward rather than super close to the buttocks. Hands by your sides, palms down, shoulder blades toward the hip on each side, a tilt of the tailbone up. Breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out. Shift the knees forward, lift the hips off the ground, point the tailbone toward the sky, squeeze your glutes and your hamstrings, and then maybe you can shimmy the shoulder blades toward each other. Doesn't matter if your hands grasp or not. Keep pointing the tailbone toward the sky. A long low back is the key. Lift the heart, pressing the shoulder blades into the earth. Breathe here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sitting bones and lower back return downward. Feet come wide as your mat. Knees drop together like they're kissing. And a little windshield wiper twisting left and right. And we're all set. You can hug your knees in toward your chest. Give them a good squeeze, compressing the belly with your thighs. Maybe a little rock left and a little rock right. Then we meet in our final resting posture, which for you might be legs up the wall, or maybe seated is better. Supta Badakumasana, lying down, or Badakumasana, sitting up. Or the more traditional legs long, arms long, space between the parts of the body, between the limbs and the body, that is. Big breath in. I am kind to my body. Huge breath out. My body is kind to me. Slowly, the breath deepens once again, and movement returns into the body. You can start small, little wiggles, let the movement grow bigger. Then the knees bend one at a time, allowing you to roll onto one side of your body. Once you're on your side, bring back to mind your intention or dedication, or maybe your mantra. Revisit that. And a little reminder that coming to the mat is kindness to the body. It's also kindness to the heart and the mind. Press yourself to a seat and consider a dedication for your practice, maybe to a being or beings, or maybe it's a dedication to how you will live out the rest of your day today. Palms come together at the heart, tailbone forward, belly in and out, spine nice and long. We'll chant Om, that is, sharing out the intentions and the dedications to all those in need. Big breath in. Om. Thumb knuckles meet the center forehead. Being kind to your body, the body will be kind in return. Namaste. As always, a treasure to practice with you. Thank you for being here with me today, whether you're live or whether we are recorded. Next week, as I mentioned, there is no live practice on August 20th, but there are tons of videos. And if you are in Vermont, you're welcome instead to join Stretch and Sip at the Featherbed Inn at 11 a.m. Gentle yoga followed by the best scones in Mad River Valley with some iced tea and some iced coffee and some great people. Anyway, great to have you here. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, a wonderful week, a wonderful month. Thank you.